What's good? Salute to the hottest chat in the MF and game. A-Style official. No negotiations needed, period. Wanted to talk about the turkey a la sheep situation that's kind of shaking up combos when it comes to the boxing media. This is the deal for me. You remember when Turkey was, being sequestered for 2 Ferraris, by the guy called, Javante Tank Davis, aka El Chin Checker. It seems like this is becoming more of a reality that they might work together. They have the potential to work together. I don't know. I'm not putting no confirmation on there like people, love doing to say they the first or whatever. But Tank, put 2 Ferraris and a helmet. Yeah, it's always a crossword puzzle with Tank. It's always a treasure hunt with Tank trying to figure out what he's talking about. If by chance Turkey is gonna work with him, so be it. Because what I've found out about Turkey is that he lived by this code that he mentioned previously. That he said he don't know how to like the fighters to do business with them. And I truly believe that, because it's been some fighters that said some disrespectful stuff, but yet he's willing to do business with them. I'm just being honest. He's willing to do business with them. Just like Canelo. Canelo was like, really, if Turkey wanted to do business with me, he had to do it under he's gonna have to do it under my stance. You know what I'm saying? What I want. My demands. That's if you want to do business with me. Then you had all the other fighters that came out and said what they said about Turkey. Now Tank has came back on the docket. And supposedly, people are talking about Turkey potentially working with El Chin Checker for a future fight. I mean, at the end of the day, we're looking for some grand fights. We're looking for some, continuous and big name fights. So keep your eyes open to see if Turkey make that happen. Also, we heard about Ennis Ortiz potentially in November. Now, this is speculation to me. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I really don't know. At the end of the day, how close this is, but when it comes to Turkey, and then you factor in Vergil and Ennis Vergil, Ennis Ortiz Duran, they're gonna get the biggest payday that they ever gotten in their boxing career. Period. But more so than that, I don't like singing the same hymn note all the time when it comes to Turkey. They're getting the biggest paycheck of their career. They're getting this. We know that. But I want to know if the fight's going to happen. I want to know if that's going to be the first fight that Boots take, the first opposition that Boots take upon his debut at 154. That's my curiosity. Because hearing all this 2 tune-ups before Vergil and all that, I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. To be honest with you, I hope that's not true, yo. I hope that's just talk. I hope it's not true. I just hope it's just, cross-talk banter and all that other stuff that goes along with it. But I like the news, though. I like the news. That would be a good scrap. Ennis Ortiz, and I really hope Turkey can put it together this year. Because what it would do is kind of erase all the jargon that's going around of people saying that Boots is the #1 A1. Well, that's me. That's what I'm saying. He's the #1 A1 platinum member when it comes to the Duck Master Coalition's black card. Yes, he's that guy. But if he was to, go in there and fight Vergil in November, cool. I'm straight with that. No problem whatsoever. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. what else is up, man? Y'all keep your eyes tuned for that, man. Why are you stopping this far back, idiot? What else is up, man, when it comes to boxing? You know, just some of the same old. You know, I see Bill Haney and Norman Sr., you know, pretty much, you know, going back and forth, just like pretty much Haney did with T.O.'s, you know, you know. He was up there going back and forth with T.O. When they was at 135, and they never really, you know, got anything accomplished. So at the end of the day, I've heard the talk. I've heard the talk over and over again with, you know, Haney talking with Teofimo Lopez, dad, Bill talking to this person, Bill talking to that person. Hearing them going back and forth now that the energy has been redirected to Haney potentially facing Norman because Boots moved up to 54. I'm gonna be honest, man. I believe it when I see it, man. When I see a flyer. I just seen too many times Bill was in conversation, just like he was with Gary Russell. You know, when Devin was set to face Gamboa, he was on here for months at a time, had people believing that Gary Russell might potentially be a next fight for Devin Haney, and nothing happened. The back and forth verbal sparring going on between T.O. at 35, and then they turned it back around and act like it was gonna happen again. You know what I'm saying? At 140 or whatever, nothing happened. You know, now you had to deal with Ryan Garcia. That's back and forth. I mean, over and over and over again, man. You know, at the end of the day, just over and over again. So am I just